Welcome to the Indian Council of Medical Research online prescribing skills course for the Indian medical graduates. I am Dr. Hitesh Mishra and today I am going to talk about Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940, Rules 1945 and drug schedules amended thereof, fixed dose combinations, over the counter drugs including the drugs from alternative medicines and health supplements and their relevance to prescribing. The module is reviewed by Professor Dr. Nilma Sagar and the experts from various RUMC centers across India. The topics covered in the module are Drugs and Cosmetic Act and drug schedules amended thereof, fixed dose combinations, over the counter drugs including the drugs from the alternative medicines and health supplements. The outline of the module will be as follow: introduction of the module followed by specific learning objectives, discussion on case report, relevant points to the topic, do's and don'ts for the topic, take home message, references and in the last acknowledgement. So, let us start the module with the topic on Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 and Rules 1945 and drug schedules amended thereof. So, Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940 and Rules 1945 and schedules therein regulates import, manufacture and distribution of drugs in India. Primary objective of the Act is to ensure the drugs and cosmetics sold in India are safe, effective and conform to prescribed quality standards. Knowledge of the substances is specified in the Schedule G, H, H1 or X will decrease the inappropriate use of the drugs under these schedules. Now, what are the specific learning objectives of the topic? The SLOs for the topic is that after completing the topic, the Indian medical graduate shall be able to enumerate important schedules in the Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940 and Rules 1945 and drug schedules amended thereof. The Indian medical graduate should use appropriate format for prescribing the scheduled prescription only drugs and narcotics, antibiotics in compliance with the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 and Rules 1945 and drug schedules. To educate the patient and healthcare staffs regarding adverse consequences of using scheduled drugs without physician's advice and supervision. Instruct the patient to revisit in case the prescribed medicine is not available. Let us have a look on the case report regarding the Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940. A patient Mr. X presented to the physician with common cold associated with cough, high grade fever and malaise for past 2 days. History revealed that on day 1 of fever he approached the chemist for treatment, for which he was given tablets of cefpodoxime, codeine and paracetamol. Now answer the following question: is a chemist authorized to give cefpodoxime? Why or why not? Should antimicrobial be prescribed in this condition? Third, is there any restriction on the sale of above drugs? So, the explanation to the above questions are: first, cefpodoxime being a Schedule H1 drug should not be sold by retail without the prescription of registered medical practitioners. As the common cold is a viral condition, antimicrobial and cough suppressant should not be prescribed as they will not help, rather increase the chances for adverse effects. Third, drugs under the Schedule H1 are not over the counter drugs and their sale is more restricted than the Schedule H drugs. So, let us have a look on some of the important schedules for the Indian medical graduate. The Schedule G. The container of a medicine for internal use shall be labelled as Scheduled G prescription drugs, and caution: it is dangerous to take this preparation except under medical supervision. The examples of the drugs that comes under Schedule G are most anti-cancer drug, phenytoin, phenramine, promethazine and many more. So, this is a photo of the wrapper of the Schedule G drug and you can appreciate how the Schedule G prescription drug is written in the wrapper. Schedule H drug. This is the broadest list, and the container of a medicine for internal use shall be labelled with symbol RX and the words Schedule H prescription drug caution not to be sold by retail without the prescription of registered medical practitioner. Examples of the drugs that comes under the Schedule H are the amikacin, budesonide, esomeprazole and many more. So, again you can see the wrapper of the drug that comes under the Schedule H. Now, the drugs that are in the purview of Narcotics and Psychotropic Substance Act 1985 be labelled with NRX in red and Schedule H drug warning to be sold by retail on the prescription of registered medical practitioner. Examples are morphine, diacetyl morphine, etc. This is the photo of Schedule H drugs, the Schedule H1 drugs. Container of the medicine for internal use shall be labelled with symbol RX in red, also labelled with red border and with words as Schedule H1 drugs warning. It is dangerous to take this preparation except in accordance with the medical advice. Second, not to be sold by retail without the prescription of registered medical practitioner. Chemist has to record the supply of Schedule H1 drugs in a separate register, and the examples of Schedule H1 drugs are alprazolam, cefpodoxime, codeine, etc. So, here is the picture that is showing the Schedule H1 drug, and you can appreciate the RX written in the red and the red border in the strip of the medicine. Now, Schedule X drug. Some relevant points regarding Schedule X drugs are as follow. Container of the drug to be labelled with XRX in red color and following words Schedule X drug warning to be sold by retail on the prescription of a registered medical practitioner only. It is the most restricted schedule and shall be sold by retail on and in accordance with the prescription of registered medical practitioner. Contains list of psychotropic drugs requiring special licenses for manufacture and sale. For example, amphetamine, secobarbital, phencyclidine. This is the photo showing the picture of the Schedule X drug, and you can appreciate the XRX written in the red and the warning that is present in the wrapper. Some other relevant points regarding Schedule X drug are prescriptions shall be in duplicate, one copy of which shall be retained by the chemist or the primary health center in charge for a period of 2 years, and the primary health center in charge must follow the standard operative procedure for procurement, storage, administration and maintaining record of the Schedule X medicines. Now, what are the positive recommendation for the Indian medical graduate? So, as an Indian medical graduate, you must educate the patient about to buy medicines on a valid prescription from a licensed chemist, to check always the medicines for their name, expiry date, price on the label, right strength, formulation, etc. And as an Indian medical graduate, you also educate the patient to ensure about intact seal and proper storage of drugs. What are the negative recommendations or the don'ts? So, the Indian medical graduate just educate the patient not to change the prescribed medication dose frequency on his or her own, not to use medications prescribed for someone else, not to store the medications in locations that are humid, too hot or too cold, otherwise they are going to be damaged. Now, let us move to our second topic of the module, that is the fixed dose combinations. The fixed dose combinations refers to product containing more than one active ingredient. A fixed dose combination is rational if combination increases the therapeutic effect, as in case of the combination of sulfamethoxazole or trimethoprim, or the estrogen progesterone combination, that is present in the oral contraceptives. Second, a fixed dose combination is again rational if the side effect of one is countered by the other, as in case of furosemide and spironolactone. Third, if the fixed dose combination decreases development of resistance, as in case of the artemisinin based combination therapy or antitubercular drugs. Again, a fixed dose combination is rational if it helps to improve the compliance, as the combination of the ATT drugs there. And if both the ingredients of the FDC are required and the FDC is cheaper due to the decrease in the cost due to packaging and distribution from the individual drugs taken apart, then the doctor can prescribe it. So, the specific learning objective of the topic on the FDC are that after completing the topic, the Indian medical graduate shall be able to justify the use of fixed dose combinations for a given condition, state the points to be considered while prescribing FDCs so that their irrational use is avoided. Now look at the case report. A 30-year-old male labor was seen by dermatologist for tinea corporis. History revealed that he was treated by a local caregiver for the same disease who prescribed him a cream containing clotrimazole, beclomethasone and neomycin. On using the cream, he developed skin atrophy, striae and recurrence of disease after some time. The dermatologist then prescribed him tablet terbinafine 250 mg OD for 20 days and ketoconazole cream for twice daily application. Now look at the explanation of the above question. The caregiver prescribed an irrational fixed dose combination containing an antifungal, antibiotic and steroid. As the tinea corporis is a fungal infection, neomycin and steroid are not required, thereby unnecessarily exposing the patient to the adverse drug reaction of these drugs. So, the dermatologist in the hospital prescribed him according to the standard treatment guideline. So, what are the do's with regard to the fixed dose combinations? So, as an Indian medical graduate, prescribed FDCs that are approved by Government of India and are present in the National List of Essential Medicines, National Health Programs, for example, amoxicillin plus clavulanate, levodopa plus carbidopa, cotrimoxazole and prescribed FDCs where it increases the therapeutic efficacy or reduces adverse effect as seen before, where it improves the patient compliance, where it helps in decreasing antimicrobial resistance, and if the drugs included in the FDC are necessary and the combination is cheaper than the individual drugs taken apart. Do not prescribe fixed dose combination. When one drug may antagonize the action of other, like the chlorpheniramine and the bromhexine combination, and do not prescribe the fixed dose combination when one of the drug has no therapeutic use for particular condition, like the ampicillin and the cloxacillin combination. Do not prescribe the FDC if the dose of individual drug cannot be adjusted, which is especially important for drugs with narrow margin of safety. When the time course of action of frequency of administration of components, if different, can cause under or overdosing with one or other drugs, then also you should not prescribe such FDCs. And in the last and most important, do not prescribe fixed dose combination from the banned FDC list. Now let us move to our last topic of the module, that is the over the counter drugs, including the drugs from alternative medicines and health supplements. So, what are over the counter drugs or OTC drugs? So, the drugs legally allowed to be sold over the counter by pharmacists and do not require the prescription of a registered medical practitioner. The phrase OTC has no legal recognition in India, but all the drugs not included in the list of prescription only drugs are considered to be non-prescription drugs or OTC drugs. Technically speaking, the drugs not included in the schedules G, H, H1 and X comes under the OTC drugs. So, what are health supplements? So, as per Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, health supplements are substances used to supplement the normal diet of a person above the age of 5 years. They are of different types like nutraceuticals. These are the substances that provide a physiological benefit and help in maintaining good health. For example, spearmint, millets and their powders. Probiotics, which are useful bacteria like the lactobacillus and bifidobacterium having the health benefits, and the prebiotics, which improves the growth of the probiotics like the fructo-oligosaccharides, galacto-oligosaccharides and trans-galacto-oligosaccharides. Antioxidants like vitamin C and D and enzymes, various botanical products like the Vitis vinifera or the Sorghum vulgare, and nutrients like vitamins, minerals, amino acids and fatty acids, mainly the omega 3 fatty acids. The specific learning objective of the topic is that after completing the topic, the Indian medical graduate shall be able to advise the patient about the possible adverse drug reaction, antimicrobial resistance and interactions that may occur due to the over the counter drugs and health supplement. Let us have a look on a case report. A hypothyroid patient aged 60 years, well controlled on tablet thyroxine 100 microgram per day, develops pain in legs. He went to a chemist shop to purchase tablet paracetamol, where chemist suggested him to take calcium supplement for the complaint. After taking calcium supplement for few weeks, the symptoms of hypothyroidism reappeared. Now, can you explain why the symptoms of hypothyroidism occurs? The probable explanation that this is a case of drug interaction, as the OTC drug calcium decreases the absorption of thyroxine. This led to the fall in the level of thyroid hormone, causing the recurrence of features of hypothyroidism. So, what are the positive recommendations regarding the over the counter drugs and health supplements? These are, as an Indian medical graduate, you have always take history of consumption of OTC drug and health supplement. Always take history of allergy against over the counter drugs and health supplement, and educate patient about the possible interaction between the prescribed drug with over the counter drug or health supplement. As an Indian medical graduate, you should also know the don't, and which is do not prescribe health supplement unless required. For example, high protein supplement in the elderly is being prescribed. So, what are the take home messages? So, just try to educate the patient regarding the prescription only drugs and the adverse consequences if they are taken without prescription. Prescribed, rationally approved fixed dose combination if required, and avoid irrational banned FDC. Keep in mind the possible interaction between the prescribed drug with over the counter drug or health supplement. So, these are the references for further reading. I, along with Professor Dr. Harihar Dikshit and Dr. Sudhir Kumar, wish our sincere thanks to Dr. Ved Prakash, Dr. Rajesh Sinha, Dr. Abhay Ranjan, Dr. Nidhi Prasad, committee members of the Rational Use of Medicine Central Committee, faculties and staff of Department of Pharmacology, IGMS Patna, for their constant support and encouragement to develop this module. Thank you for participating in the ICMR online course of Prescribing Skills for Rational Use of Medicine. Hope you will be able to answer the multiple choice questions. We also expect you to evaluate a few prescriptions from your workplace and upload. Best wishes and happy learning.